All right, sorry about that. I was trying to find the script. Okay, good evening, school board, superintendent, and district staff. The time is now 6:02 p.m. on January 23rd, 2025, and I call this meeting of the Edgewood Independent School District School Board to order. First is roll call. Dr. James Hernandez, I'm here. Mr. Frank Espinosa.
Present.
Mr. Luis Gomez.
Present.
Mr. Michael Valdez.
Present.
Ms. Martha Castilla.
Present.
Mr. Mr. Sergio Delgado.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Let the record show that a quorum of the Edgewood Independent School District School Board. I'm sorry. Sorry, my script all messed up today. Mr. Rudy Lopez.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Let the record show that a quorum of the Edgewood Independent School District School Board is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. And now we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags by led by Ms. Blevins.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Hernandez, board members, and Edgewood ISD stakeholders. At this time, I would like to invite the students from Las Palmas Leadership School for Girls forward to present the pledge. Ladies, please come forward. Joining us for the pledge tonight is Amari Rocha Garcia, Camila Fonseca, Catalia Reyes, Ashley Paredes, Kayla Contreras, Maria Espinoza, Bailey Martinez, Sofia Partida, Natasha Puente, Majesty Rivas, Violet Villanueva, Amelia Olvera, Hope Martinez Perez, and Iris Umana. Presenting the colors tonight is the Brentwood STEAM School for Innovation, LOTC. Cadets Enrique Richards, Zoe Zavala, Chloe Zavala, and Adelia Rodriguez. They are under the direction of Captain Ralph Mora. And now for the pledge. I pledge. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, thank you. I want to take a moment to thank the Brentwood Mariachi Group. They did amazing. The LOTC and also the Las Palmas Leadership School for Girls. It is a K-8 school, so we really love that y'all are getting started in kinder, and hope that y'all can stay with us until 8th grade and beyond. So we really appreciate y'all. I also want to thank the head of schools for the Leadership School for Girls, Las Palmas Leadership School for Girls, Dr. Monica Munoz, for all the work you do. So thank you very much. And lastly, I just want to acknowledge all the gifts up here from all the schools, all the district. I really appreciate it. We do give a lot of our time and our effort and our expertise, and this really does make us, at least for me, it makes me feel really good, to have appreciation like this. So thank y'all very much. Okay, now I want to call Ms. Teresa Salinas, Chief of Staff, to talk about the EISD from Goals to Greatness recognitions.
Good evening. I'm going to wait to get this presentation up if you'll give me a quick minute. Good evening, President Castilla, School Board Trustees, Superintendent, I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Restart. Thank you so much. Good evening, Board President Dr. James Hernandez, School Board Trustees, Superintendent Eduardo Hernandez. Today in our presentation From Goals to Greatness, we will be celebrating the successes of the individual and collective efforts of our staff across the district and students aligned to our board superintendent goals. And as we begin to celebrate our Board Recognition Month, we would like to begin this evening's board recognitions by honoring our 7 trustees whose time, commitment, and unwavering dedication to the Edgewood community have left an enduring mark. Each of our board members has dedicated countless hours of time dedicated to deeply understanding the inner workings of the district and also actively engaging with our community. Through their service, they help build a stronger and more united Edgewood ISD, and that's not just for today, but it's for the future. Trustees, if you can please stand and be recognized when I call your name, and please continue to stand until every school board trustee's name has been called. And we do ask that the audience please hold your applause till the end. Dr. James Hernandez, Board President. Marta Castilla, Vice President. Frank Espinosa, Secretary. Luis Gomez, Trustee. Michael Valdez, Trustee. Rudy Lopez, Trustee. Sergio Delgado, Trustees. We would also like to take a moment to honor all of those who have served our school board now and in the past. Thank you so much for your service. You may be seated. And we would be remiss if we didn't give a special token of gratitude to all of the school board trustees who have served before. We would like to take a moment to honor Mr. Roy Soto, Mrs. Stella Camacho, Mr. Timothy Payne, Mr. Edward Romero, and Dina Serrano, all who have chosen to lead this community. We know that the acts that board members give and the time is one of great value, and so we do appreciate the road that has been paved. We would also like to end these recognitions this evening by honoring 2 very special former trustees. We have Mr. Joseph Guerra and Mr. Richard Santoyo that we would like to honor for the years of service. Mr. Guerra, will you please come forward to be recognized? Thank you for your service. Mr. Richard Santoyo, will you please come forward to be recognized? Thank you. To our past and present board members, thank you for your service, your vision, and your leadership. And now I'd like to invite our board president, Dr. James Hernandez, to say a few words.
That's right, I forgot about that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, and members of the Edgewood Independent School District community, as I stand before you today, I'm deeply honored to serve as president of the Edgewood ISD School Board. This role is not just a responsibility, it is a personal commitment to the success of our students, the growth of our educators, and the betterment of our entire community. I want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank Ms. Martha Castilla, to the left of me, our outgoing EISD president, for her remarkable leadership and dedication. Her guidance has been invaluable to me as I step into this role, and I'm deeply grateful for her wisdom, support, and unwavering commitment to the Edgewood ISD community. Ms. Castilla's work has laid a strong foundation for our continued progress, and her legacy of service will be felt for years to come. So I want to clap for her right now. Thank you. I'm not done yet, okay? As an educator, advocate, and leader, I have dedicated my career to fostering innovation, inclusivity, and growth within the education system. My role as an esports coach and gaming club sponsor has allowed me to engage directly with students in unique and transformative ways. Through these programs, I have witnessed the incredible power of teamwork, problem solving, and strategic thinking, all of which are essential skills for their future success. Beyond these roles, my work in promoting STEM education, integrating cutting-edge technology like virtual reality, and encouraging innovative learning approaches has solidified my belief that education is a transformative force. It's not just about preparing students for the future, it's about empowering them to create it. Of course, none of this work can happen alone. I'm incredibly fortunate to work alongside a team of dedicated and talented board members. Who share this vision and bring their unique strengths to the table. Again, Ms. Martha Castilla is the embodiment of servant leadership in Edgewood ISD. As the youngest of 7 siblings and the first of 5 generations in her family to attend Edgewood schools, she has made it her life's work to empower families. From founding the Edgewood Family Network to training over 700 community health workers through her Promotores de Buena Vida model. Her tireless dedication has transformed lives and strengthened the bonds of our community. As the outgoing president of the EISD board, she has provided a steady hand and a vision for progress that inspires us all. Mr. Rudy Lopez is a lifelong resident of the Edgewood ISD community and a proud graduate of John F. Kennedy High School. Class of 1989, right? 89, right? 89. 2009. Mr. Lopez's commitment to public service is unparalleled. His leadership in neighborhood associations, advisory committees, and scholarship programs demonstrates his passion for building strong, vibrant communities. With a focus on transparency and collaboration, he has played a vital role in enhancing healthcare access, educational opportunities, and community resources. Mr. Frank Espinosa. Mr. Espinosa's decades of service reflect his deep commitment to the Edgewood ISD community. As a proud graduate of Memorial High School, I couldn't get the date, but Memorial High School, and a seasoned financial professional, He has combined fiscal responsibility with a heart for service. His leadership roles in organizations like the Edgewood Education Foundation and the YMCA Westside Club have uplifted students, educators, and families alike, ensuring that resources are maximized for the benefit of all. Mr. Luis Gomez, you're next. Mr. Gomez's dedication to Edgewood ISD spans generations. A U.S. Marine Corps veteran and lifelong resident of the district, he has served his community with honor and integrity. His work with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, otherwise known as FEMA, the Edgewood District Veterans Association, and other organizations reflects his steadfast ability in service and his unwavering commitment to empowering Edgewood students and families. Mr. Michael Valdez. Mr. Valdez is a proud graduate of Edgewood Fine Arts Academy and San Antonio College. He brings fresh energy and a student-focused perspective to the board. His leadership as a student, combined with his civic engagement in roles like the San Antonio Youth Commission and the Mayor's Youth Engagement Council, demonstrates his passion for empowering young voices. Mr. Valdez is a true advocate for student engagement, equity, and transformative education. He is currently a student at the University of Texas at San Antonio, or UTSA, where he is pursuing a bachelor's degree. Mr. Delgado, I know I haven't known you too long, but here's a few of the things I know about you already. Mr. Delgado's roots in Edgewood community run deep. As a U.S. Army veteran and a graduate of Edgewood ISD, he is passionate about creating opportunities for the next generation of students. His commitment to equity and inclusion, coupled with his focus on public safety and community engagement, makes him a vital voice on the board and a champion for meaningful change. That was everyone, right? You got all there? Okay. Don't want to forget y'all again. All right. Each of these individuals contribute a unique perspective, and together we form a strong and united team. Our shared vision for every child's success in life, Edgewood Proud, is not just a statement, it is the guiding principles that shapes everything we do. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to the educators, staff, and administrators of Edgewood ISD. Your tireless efforts make our mission possible. You are the ones who inspire, support, and uplift our students every day. To the families in our district, thank you for trusting us with your children. Your partnership is vital to our success, and together we can achieve incredible things, as we saw today. And to the students of Edgewood ISD, you are the reason we are here. Your dreams are our motivation. Your determination inspires us, and your success is our greatest accomplishment. Whether you are thriving in the classroom, excelling in extracurricular competitions, or leading innovative projects in STEM and the arts, know that you have an entire community standing behind you, cheering you on every step of the way. As president of the Edgewood ISD School Board, I pledge to lead with vision, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to the students and families of the district. Together, we will face challenges, celebrate victories, and continue building a brighter future for all. Thank you for your trust, your support, and your dedication to this incredible community. I am proud to stand with you. Together, we are Edgewood Proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez. If I could please ask Mrs. Marta Castilla, if she could please make her way forward for a special award.
Good evening. The only thing I can add to that is that Marta has been a role model since she came on the board. Her tenure as president is second to none. I've only known 2 presidents, and Marta has been very committed. Her experience and knowledge of the community and what she's tried to do is exemplary. And since James took all the rest of my thunder before that, I'd just like to present her with a token of our appreciation.
Thank you. We really appreciate all of the recognition and honoring. And this evening, we're pleased to share with you all our newest leaders of the pack. These 3 members of the Edgewood ISD community exemplify our core values of professionalism, accountability, and communication. They also embody the competencies listed in our leadership definition framework. Mrs. Ida Theo is a teacher at Roosevelt Dual Language Academy. She is a compassionate educator who leads by example. Mrs. Edna Nestor is a part of our multilingual services department. She is described as someone who consistently goes above and beyond for teachers. And our third nominee is a student from the Fine Arts Academy, Mrs. Karina Leja. She is the vice president of the senior class, a lifelong member of the Girl Scouts, and president of the National Honor Society at her school. So please join us in recognizing this month's Leader of the Packs. And now we'll go ahead and enjoy a short video.
Make sure that you make every minute count. Every minute that you have with your students, every minute that you have with your parents, every minute that you have with fellow teachers, make it count. Make it welcoming, make it loving, make it nurturing, make it like a footprint in their life. So hello, I'm Ida Theo. I've been teaching in the Edgewood district for over 28 years.
I'm Karina Leja. I'm a senior at Edgewood Fine Arts Academy, and I've been in Edgewood since pre-K.
My name is Edna Nestor. I started in the CTE department and then I moved here to the multilingual department, and I've been here for I would say three and a half years.
Typical day, the students come in, they already know the routines, the procedures that I want them to do in the morning. We just start preparing our day and we start getting our learning hats on and our home hats out.
Every day is an adventure. We are a very small team and we serve K-12 bilingual students, teachers, and parents. My job is to support families, the families of students that immigrant families, families that are not very familiar with the educational system, and we go and support them to get registered in the schools and help them with any other need that they may have.
A typical day for me here, I get here, I do morning announcements, and then I have my AP classes in the morning. I take my second science class, anatomy. I do journalism, advanced theater, and then for 8th period, I'm an office aide. So I usually help the counselor out, or I'm doing work for student council, NHS, or filling out college and scholarship applications.
My challenges when I came to this country were similar to the challenges that these students have. I came here without really being able to communicate in English. I had to understand how the systems here were different from where I was coming from. Navigate that as a parent and then as a student too, because I went back to school. I just recently graduated with a master's here in Texas, and understanding how these families, these students struggle, I think that drives me to help them, because I truly believe that education is the key for them to succeed in this country and everywhere.
The biggest thing I can say that helps a lot is when you sit and you build that relationship with the students and you build that relationship with their parents, then you have that connection that you can make. Plus the fact that I have the teachers on my grade level in the campus, admin, even the district helps me out. It makes it feel easier and more comfortable to be able to overcome anything that comes.
The moment that challenged me here was a lot of like the time management and trying to figure out how to organize all of my clubs because I do all this here, and then I also have Girl Scouts every day. I volunteer there. I think really communicating with teachers and administration and Girl Scouts, they really helped me figure out time management and how to schedule everything and communicate with everyone.
Being selected as leader of the pack is an honor. It's an honor because that signifies that recognition to my dedication. But it also holds me responsible to continue striving for excellence, to continue inspiring others, inspiring students or teachers or co-workers to reach our goals and be better every day. That's an honor. It's an honor.
To be selected as leader of the pack, it's really given me the confidence that I have what it takes to be a leader, and I have what it takes to grow more. And it's really shown me that I've grown a lot since freshman year, and it's really important to see that for myself and to have the confidence for my future.
It was an honor. I think about how, I'm able to go ahead and feel supported in the decisions that I make to help the students. But at the same time, I feel like this is a job, this is what I'm supposed to do. If I were to do something miraculous, like invent something new that the kids could use and make them, successful for the rest of their life, then I would say, okay, I'm one of those leaders of the pack that went above and beyond. But I just feel like it's my job.
I choose Edgewood because of the community that I'm blessed to serve. It's a wonderful community that I identify with. And I also, because I'm blessed to work with a wonderful team that strives for excellence every day. They inspire me to do my job better every day. I have a team that I consider not just my coworkers, but my friends.
I choose Edgewood because it's given me the opportunity to try new things and to grow more as a person.
We're a family. And all the schools that I've been to, and even in the district meetings and everything, we're a big family. We take care of each other. We are concerned about each other. We help each other. And besides that, our main goal is the success of our students, to nurture them, to love them, to give them good experiences that, maybe sometimes they don't get at home. And so we want them to be citizens in our communities that have that opportunity to become something great. And so that's why I love Edgewood.
Thank you very much. And I will say we had quite a few nominations, so we really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your service. The next slide that we have is our KENS 5 Excel Award winner. I'm not sure of those of you who may not know, but the KENS 5 Excel Award is a very prestigious recognition, and it's given by KENS 5 here in San Antonio to honor the outstanding educators who make a lasting impact in their communities. This award highlights teachers who go above and beyond in their commitment to student success, demonstrating excellence in and out of the classroom. Teachers nominated for the Excel Award are recognized not just for those things, but for innovative teaching methods, for their dedication to whole child student development, and the broader commitments that they make to leave a lasting impact in our community. And so it is with great pride that we get to celebrate Mr. Richard Perez, also known as Roadrunner Ricky, to represent Edgewood ISD in this year's KENS 5 Excel Award winner. And Mr. Perez is from Perales Elementary, and he will also be featured on KENS 5 February the 4th at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So please tune in. Thank you, Mr. Perez. In Edgewood ISD, people matter, growth matters, and goals matter. These are the three categories we have listed in our Edgewood ISD leadership definition framework. We would like to recognize the hard work and dedication of Mrs. Andrea Garcia Padilla. She is the choir director over at the Fine Arts Academy, and she recently received her PhD in interdisciplinary learning and teaching from UTSA. So please join me in congratulating Dr. Garcia on her academic accomplishments. And now I'd like to move on to our student athletes. In these next few slides, we're going to be honoring our student athletes who've excelled in various different areas. First up, we have John F. Kennedy High School senior Rocky Apolinar. Rocky is a 4-year member of the Rockets football team. As a freshman, he set his sights on making the San Antonio Sports All-Star roster, which is an honor reserved for seniors. This year, his hard work has paid off, and Rocky earned his spot on the All-Star team. He is one of 116 football players from the San Antonio area to make the roster, and the only player from Edgewood. Congratulations, Rocky. And now we'd like to invite the volleyball champions and coaches from Las Palmas Leadership School for Girls and Perales Elementary School. These teams won their respective divisions in the Police Athletic League. The Police Athletic League, PAL, is a community-based organization that aims to build positive relationships between students and law enforcement officers. It was founded in 1940, and the PALS program provides recreational, athletic, and educational activities for our youth, specifically in underserved communities. These Bobcat volleyball team, the Bobcat volleyball team is led by Coach Olivares and parent volunteer coaches Jolene Garcia and Megan Smith. The 5th grade Roadrunner team is led by Coach Perez, and the 2nd and 3rd grade team is led by parent volunteer Coach Annie Sandoval. These talented athletes were recently invited to City Hall to be recognized by the City Council and meet the mayor. And now at this time, we'd also like to invite Officers Daniel and Zulaika from the San Antonio Police Athletic League to please come join us.
Hi, how's everybody doing today? My name is Officer Zuleika with the PAL, Police Athletic League, San Antonio Police Department. I just wanted to kind of let you talk from the heart and tell you that this program that we have and we're able to, that we're provided to be able to work with your kids is kind of invaluable. I know me growing up, sports was a big way for me to get away from the things that I shouldn't be doing. Sports in my life made a huge impact. Coaches made impacts on my life. And then teammates that I had when I was a young kid, they're still friends today. Sports teach you core values. They teach you about, being good sportsmen. We talk about that all the time, about being good sports, not only while you're playing, but in life. We try to make positive impacts on the kids that we come in contact with. That's the number one goal. Make a positive impact on the kids and the community that we serve. So I would just want to thank Edgewood Independent School District. I'd like to thank the athletic director, Benavides. They've been so accommodating. I'm new to the unit, but I've been on the police department 28 years. But they, the partnership that we have is for the kids, and it shows. Now, and we have one banner today. We're going to present the two other banners at their athletic committees. But we have one banner today that we want to present for Las Palmas. And this banner is their first place banner, but the kids earned it, okay? But their parents are the ones that really like supported them through it. But I want to give them a round of applause, all the kids, for being champions. And thank y'all very much, and we look forward to continuing the program. Thank y'all.
Thank you all. Gonna take any more pictures? Thank you. And in case you all weren't sure, Edgewood ISD is home to some very talented athletes, from the football field to the volleyball court and now onto the golf course. We want to congratulate Kennedy Senior Electra Garza. Last month, she won the SAISD golf tournament and helped the John F. Kennedy High School girls soccer team take third place overall. Please join me in celebrating the success of our student athletes. Honoring the service of those who dedicate their careers to our district is always special. After 43 years of service, it is indeed an honor to bring up Mrs. Maria Graham. When Maria graduated from John F. Kennedy High School, she decided to give back to the community she grew up in by joining the Edgewood family. She served in various capacities, from a classroom aide starting in 1979 in several of our elementary schools to working in multiple departments like payroll, HR, athletics, and most recently our multilingual services department. No matter where Maria Graham worked, she poured laughter and her heart into her job. Please join me in celebrating the retirement and legacy of Mrs. Maria Graham. On behalf of Edgewood, we thank you for your service. Tonight, during our CTE Spotlight, we are proud to recognize the Health Science Program at Memorial High School. This program is led by our educators, Patricia Rodriguez, along with Ivan Orizaga and Julian Wyman. This dedicated team of educators offers students valuable hands-on experience in healthcare settings. By bridging the gap between academic learning and real-world application, the program equips students with the practical skills, and it deepens their understanding of the daily responsibilities of healthcare that healthcare providers face all across various different roles. Upon completing the four-year program, these students will have the opportunity to earn certifications as either a phlebotomy technician and/or certified patient care technician, which is going to prepare them for careers in the healthcare field. Representing the program tonight are a few students. We have Mia Martinez. You could say hello. We have Juliana Preciado, Natalie Del Toro, Araceli Saldana, Pamela Lopez, and am I missing somebody? Oh, Patricia Rodriguez, okay. So ladies, thank you so much for what you do. We appreciate the fact that you're investing in your future. And thank you, Mrs. Rodriguez. And now we have just a really short video clip that we would like to share that's going to show this program in action.
This month, we come together to honor and recognize the dedicated individuals who serve on our school board. Their leadership shapes the future of our students and lays the foundation of tomorrow's Texas. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to education and the success of every student in Edgewood. Thank you.
In a state as large and diverse as Texas, the leadership of our school boards is crucial in ensuring that every child's potential is realized. We thank you for your passion, perseverance, and relentless pursuit of excellence of our future. Thank you, Edgewood School Board.
Through your leadership, we are creating a brighter, stronger Edgewood for the next generation. The policies you enact today will directly shape the opportunities and potential of tomorrow's leaders, innovators, and citizens.
Thank you for your commitment to collaboration with teachers, administrators, and parents. Your collective efforts are not only driving progress in our schools, but also in the hearts and minds of our students. You are truly leading for a better tomorrow.
We understand that the responsibilities you carry are not easy, but your leadership is both impactful and inspiring. Your decisions affect countless lives, and your vision will continue to build a stronger future for our state. Thank you, ISD School Board.
Thank you, ISD School Board, for your tireless work, often behind the scenes. Ensure that every student in Edgewood has the opportunity to thrive. You lead with vision, compassion, and determination, all of which are crucial to the success of our community and the future of our state.
That was a great video, not the video we were going to play. Let me just see if they've got the video ready. If not, we'll move on. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much for your patience.
Welcome to Health Science Practica. Thank you for visiting Health Science Practicum.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's just a real quick little snippet of some of the things that our students get to engage in to prepare them for the real world. Every year, under the leadership of Mr. Elvis Williams, our district works with CPS Energy to maximize the efficiency and use of our buildings. Tonight, I would like to call up Mr. Robert Olivares from CPS Energy to present our district with this year's summer energy savings. This way. Thank you so much from CPS Energy. It's $171,159.36 in savings. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the partnership. We are grateful to the many nonprofits that we have that have a heart for Edgewood. We would like to recognize our Edgewood District Veterans and San Antonio Police Officer Association for providing students across the district with warm zip-up jackets. Also, in alignment with Goal 4, improving two-way communication, the district is proud to welcome several parents, community members in our recent Edgewood ISD Unidos Plática that we held at Perales Elementary, as well as our Abuelos Unidos and the Superintendent Community Council meeting. The meetings brought together members from the faith-based Women with Vision and our business council groups that were previously led separately. These opportunities to engage with families and community members in diverse ways are essential to fostering open communication. They not only allow us to listen to our constituents, but also provide a platform to share important updates about our district and also to gather important feedback. Together, these efforts will help guide our planning, ensuring a stronger, more vibrant Edgewood for years to come. I want to thank all of the parents who dedicate their time and community members to come out to these events to either support their children in our schools or to contribute and to learn and to be a part of something great. And so we really appreciate our families for the time they dedicate to Edgewood. You know, we are also very fortunate to consider Mosaic Church a community partner. Long before the church was built, church members spent time helping our schools and our families. This weekend, they will officially open their doors, and they are inviting Edgewood ISD community members to join them. They will have a Whataburger breakfast for the first 100 people, so please be sure to make your way out there. And Edgewood ISD has been in the news, just in case you missed it. We recently had in December, our chief of police, Jesse Quiroga, went live on daytime TV to talk about the hiring needs of our Edgewood ISD Police Department. He did a great job, and we're looking forward to his next television appearance. And Edgewood also made some news when our superintendent, Dr. Hernandez, spoke with KENS 5, Univision, and Spectrum news about our schools. Specifically, he spoke on immigration and new administration. You can find both of these links and the interviews on our website. Please be sure to check out our website. We do have lots of information and ongoing news celebrating not just the things you saw here today, but lots of other success stories that are happening around our district. I thank you very much for your time and attention this evening, and we will be taking a 5-minute break for those of you who'd like to take pictures or anything before we resume our board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll take I know she said 5, but it'll be more like 2 or 3 because I've seen people already taking pictures, so we want to be mindful of the time. 2 or 3 minutes if you need to run to the restroom or anything. 1 second. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start up again. Thank you. All right. All right, sir. Good to go.
All right, welcome back. Next, we have communications from citizens. Dr. H, do we have any communications from citizens?
Yes, sir, I believe we do. We're gonna get the speech up on the, there you go.
Yes. Ms. Castilla?
Before we begin calling people up, our citizens, we would like to read the following. Comments shall be limited to current board agenda items. The speaker will be informed when he or she has 1 minute remaining. Speakers who engage in personal attacks or use insulting, profane, threatening, or abusive language during any board meeting shall be ruled out of order by the presiding officer and may be escorted from the board meeting room by district peace officers. Any concerns or complaints regarding employees, public officials, students, or parents should be resolved via the appropriate complaint process. As stated in BED logo pursuant to 551.042 of the Texas Government Code, no board member or administrator may respond to a member of the public unless such response is a recitation of district policy or a statement of specific factual information. Please be advised that citizens and especially board members shall refrain from speaking over one another during the meeting out of respect for the speaker that has the floor.
Thank you. And with that, can we have Miss Lisa Owens to the podium? And a clock. Okay, yes, you have 3 minutes. Speaking on item G is consideration and approval of timely services software. Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Good evening. I'm just here to kind of understand the purpose of spending $55,000 on the timely software. According to the agenda, it's supposed to be used on secondary schools, so I'm going to assume that this is for the administrators or the teachers. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. I just don't understand the reason for spending money, especially when we keep saying that we need to cut back on spending. I did some research on this software, and I'm not seeing any real reason to go out and spend that amount of money on something like this, because it appears to be like a daily calendar spreadsheet kind of deal. And some of the cons that I actually noticed that were reported on this application software, whatever you want to call it, is that it has a lot of bugs in it. It's pretty expensive for businesses that have a tight budget. It's used for businesses use it basically to monitor what their people are doing, so they know how they're spending their day. And it's primarily used for businesses that have clients. So if they're billing hours to their clients, I don't think we're billing anyone, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. So I'm just trying to understand the whole purpose of this software and why we are spending $55,000 on it. So last year, I brought up the district attention on the catastrophic effect of the Ingenuity program that we spent a lot of money on. So, with that program, everybody was failing science, and I'm talking about every student that was taking chemistry and physics. We got rid of that. We basically had to throw that in the garbage, but that was a huge loss of money that we spent. So I'm just asking that we be careful when we start bringing in new software. I understand we want to get the latest and greatest technology, but there's so many applications and software that these kids are having to learn that who has the time for all that? I mean, we need to be using that time on instruction instead of all of that, because you're also pulling away teachers and administrators to spend extra time on learning all of these softwares. And we really don't have the time for that. I'd rather much see that $55,000 go to putting a fence around the Fine Arts Academy to keep our students safe. We still have some shady people that are still walking through the campus, and we know that they have bad intentions. We see it every single day. I don't have to even park there anymore. I mean, they're there going through day in and day out, even at night. So, and it's also being used as a parking lot for kids to learn how to drive. So that's another problem now that we're having there in the parking lot, And on a positive note, our Fine Arts Academy is going to be doing their musical of Chicago next month. I invite all of y'all to come out and check out their performances. They are working really hard on that on February 20th, 21st. The 22nd, we're going to have our first ever sensory friendly and ASL performance available for our community members that need those special accommodations.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, and Miss Melody Herrera. Down. Speaking on 5, agenda item 5, 6A, and 8D. Go ahead.
Good evening, Board Trustees, Superintendent, Senior Leadership, and Community. I'm here today to first congratulate the Board Trustees that are here for the right reasons, for the dedication and commitment they have to our students, staff, and community. I especially want to thank Trustee Valdez. No matter what the obstacles you have faced over the past 2 years, you continue to advocate and remain ethical and have not compromised your values, and you continue to inspire our youth. And for that, we thank you. Concerning item 6A, Go Progress Measure 3.1, the percentage of students meeting the TSI criteria in both the ELA in reading and mathematics on any assignments TSI assessment, SAT, ACT, college prep course will increase from 15 to 25% by June of 2027 with a baseline TSI measure June 2022. I'm not sure how these percentages were selected, but I feel to better prepare our students, these scores should be higher, as we should want all of our students to be successful and prepared when going to college, military, and workforce. Meeting with different teachers around the district, I often hear our students cannot read, write, or do basic math on grade level. So I really hope you, the board, are monitoring these goals and that we are evaluating what is being done to make sure that our students are prepared for these assessments, and our teachers are given adequate resources and professional development to teach our students to meet these goals. Lastly, I want to ask again why there is a change in board operating procedures and why are we going to closed session to discuss these items. I understand there wasn't a board workshop and important items should be transparent to the community and staff. As often these board operating procedures are changed and evaluated, as often as board operating procedures are changed and evaluated, we should be doing the same to campus facilities and campus procedures, as too often we hear from the community issues with facilities being cold or questions about what is being done with closed facilities. I hope you are not trying to change procedures again to limit board members from being a voice for the community. Lastly, I want to leave you with a quote since we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day. This is a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. We need leaders not in love with money, but in love with justice. Not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. And All right. Thank you. Ms. Agapita Jaramillo?
Good afternoon, school board, superintendent, administrative staff, parents, and community. I am here today to speak on items 8B, 8C, 8D, and 8E. I believe you as a board will be discussing board policies and board operating procedures. But my question to you is how many times do we have to amend these specific items in question? The board operating procedures were just amended on January 16th of last year. In addition, board policy BBE relates to board members' authorities such as requests for reports, records, access to information, and board policy BBG refers to board members' compensation and expenses. Then I see that you have an item for discussion regarding a board member's request for approval for a TASB conference, a conference specifically for board members. I hope that these policies and procedures are not being addressed due to the requests and constant oppositions, questions, and concerns of a specific board member, Mr. Valdez. Mr. Valdez has a right to represent the district's community, ask questions, and be given the same benefits as other board members are receiving. We have a board that has a majority on the superintendent side, and there are never any questions or conversations where the public can hear. Everything is handled through board discussions with the superintendent or board performance meetings, but it is obvious that the direction, or recommendation given to amend these policies and procedures are only recommended when you want to build a wall or stop transparency. Please assure that though you have the majority, there is still someone looking through that window. And in closing, I do want to say congratulations, happy Board Appreciation Month, because I know it is a commitment. I know it is a commitment and it is a service to our students and to our community. And though I don't always agree with you guys, you know, I have my doubts, you know, and some of the decisions I feel are not right. You know, I just hope, you know, I pray, and God bless you and give you the strength to make those good decisions for our students and, you know, to create a better, you know, a better environment for our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right. Next, we move to our next presentation. Mr. Phil Chavez, Deputy Superintendent. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, okay. I'll pass it over to Dr. H.
All right. All right, guys. So welcome this afternoon or this evening now, about 7 o'clock. I do want to be mindful of the time this evening, but I do have a few items that I do want to share with the community this evening. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody that was recognized this evening, as well as our three citizens who spoke this evening. Thank you for continuing to share your thoughts with us. We do hear those, and we do work those into our various conversations in the district. But tonight is about the board meeting. And so I want to add to the many things that have already been said about our board. As our last speaker spoke just a few moments ago, the work of the board is work that is volunteer work. It is work that it is all about serving and supporting our board, and of course our community. I ask that this evening that we not only honor the board members that currently sit on the dais as current board members, but also the board members who served and spent many years serving our school district. In fact, the ones that you saw listed this evening, I'd already shared with them that we would be recognizing their names even though they're not here. People's presence are important, and we want to make sure that we don't forget them. And so to our 7 trustees that are serving today, I thank each one of you for the expertise, the advice, the knowledge that you bring in, questions and everything that you put forth, and of course, more than just words, the actions that you put forth. To me, actions are a whole lot more valuable because what you're doing is you're serving the community that saw you grow as young men and women through our neighborhoods. This goes in direct alignment with our standards, which is about making a connection with our community. You've heard countless examples tonight from our leaders of the pack, whether it's our teacher Ida Teo over at Roosevelt, or our student at Fine Arts Academy, our senior, or Ms. Nestor, who serves in our multilingual department, or all the different coaches and our teacher that was cited for the Excel Award. Earning trust and respect is something you do daily. You strive to earn it, but sometimes you don't, you fail, but you still get up and you keep trying. That's what a quality service and standard is. And so I want to thank the board because part of what you're doing when you're out serving is that you're helping us pursue our district strategic plan. And that district strategic plan, although it is very lengthy, I always equate it to two things. The first, that every child, I heard a couple of our board members when our kids were coming up here saying, Edgewood proud, be proud of where you come from. That's important. But the other is your experiences while you're in the district and making sure that when we graduate you, one, we graduate you on time, but that you're ready for college, career, or military. Part of your experiences in our district are circled around the conversations that you have. Our over 7,800 students in the district deserve to be heard. As throughout my presentation, you're going to hear me give accolades to our board members for what they bring to our conversation. In this instance, student voice, you heard our board president cite Mr. Valdez for always being an advocate of student voice. And it's important that we remain at the forefront, that the student's voice be heard. This is a recent picture from our Superintendent Student Leadership Network meeting. We met with our students during lunchtime. This is from our boys' school. These are currently going on, asking students an array of questions about everything from the master calendar that's going to be brought next month to the board for a vote, what their thoughts on it, to backpacks, to cell phones, to discipline, to attendance. It's important that kids' voices be heard. So I thank the board in general for always being present for these opportunities and also offering to provide a space for our students to speak. Recently, we do that through, not recently, but we do that through following our 3 core values, which is to be professional, accountable, and remember to communicate. What you see here is our recent announcement of our let me look at the Lion King production that our Stafford Visual and Performing Arts Elementary School is going to be doing. Again, experiences matter. They matter. It's a part of our strategic goal, and it's also a matter of customer service and remembering that students are the #1 clientele that we have in our school district. So I thank the leaders at our school, Ms. Machado, she's not here, but our principal Machado, and all of the different folks at Stafford, because right now the students are really pumped up about this production. And then, of course, you also heard from our constituent, Ms. Owens, talk about the Chicago production that's going to be coming from Fine Arts. But I hope what you see is the connection now that you're starting to see these in our elementary schools. This was part of the goal that was originally stated many, many moons ago, many years ago, about creating spaces for kids to have quality experiences in our schools. We do that following those core values that I mentioned because the goal is always to do 2 things: to serve and support the community and listen as we're doing that. Each board member here acts within the goals of our leadership definition, the one we've worked on for 18 months with the HEB Foundation of Holsworth, making sure that people have an opportunity to grow because people matter, because growth matters, and because goals matter. And so I want to thank the board because in your own right, you have each been participants throughout the many years you've served on the board, and those of you that just started have already begun to put the needs of others above your own, the needs and the voices of others above your own. This is about 7 people who sit on this board, not about any one man or woman up here. And so I thank you for your leadership in this area. So to each one of you, I would just add, I've had the pleasure of serving with many of you for numerous years, whether it's been our board president who started many moons ago as a trustee and has now moved on to become our board president, serving in the community in various functions, and also being a teacher in another neighboring district, but it gives him great focus into what we do here. To our current vice president and former board president, who has done numerous works in the community, again through actions, not just words, but serving in the community and promoting health, which we know we have a lot of health challenges in our communities. And so I thank her for the work that she does with the women in our school district. Of course, the board members who bring expertise, you already heard mentioned Mr. Espinosa and the financial expertise that he brings to the board. That's lots of years of training. He brings it to the board, but on top of that, does all the work in our communities. I will say that over the years, both Mr. Espinosa and Mr. Guerra, who's no longer on the board, you ask them to come cook, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. They just come do it. And sometimes they provide the food. They don't even ask for the money. They do it out of their own pocket. And so I do want to commend him for doing that and for always having that focus on leading and serving the community that he grew up in. And then, of course, our other board members who bring various expertise, having been a veteran for our great nation, having served as a FEMA administrator, and, of course, also serving, whether it's in concession stands or different things in our community. Mr. Gomez has been someone that has served many, many years, not just now, but I've seen pictures of you serving also as a band booster many, many years ago. I know this is a joke, but black when your hair was still black. Mr. Gomez isn't here right now. He stepped out. But that's a running joke we have. But he's been serving as a booster for over 20 years ago with Mr. Guerra as well. Mr. Rudy Lopez, who's recently joined us on the board, but has already come in, providing opportunities for our students in terms of gifts in serving on different committees, but also being a servant in the community. As president of the Neighborhood Association, I know a few years back you organized the bicycle, and I'm forgetting the name, Ciclovia. Many years ago when I got here, I remember at JFK. That's a lot of work to do. And so I thank you because you didn't start serving when you got on the board. You started serving before. So it hasn't been about you, it's been about our community. And then of course, Mr. Valdez, who, as I mentioned earlier, continues to remind us about student voice. I commend you because many years ago you asked us, have we talked to the students about the master calendar? I remember that was one of the first things that you brought forth to the board. Not because it wasn't happening, but I appreciate your voice in that conversation and the service you've been providing, as you can see in this picture. So thank you, Mr. Valdez, for the work you're doing in the district, but also to better yourself as a college student. I know you've earned your associate's degree and working on your bachelor's degree too. So thank you for that service to the community. And as well as our other trustee who just joined on the board here recently, but already providing a lot of service to our schools, specifically right now JFK, whether it's concession work or serving on the committee through different groups like our cheer organization. And of course, he is also a parent in our school district. We have his children at both Perales Elementary and at JFK. And so there is an investment in our community. So I want to thank Mr. Delgado for already demonstrating that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of any one person. So I thank you. I think I got that quote from a Star Trek movie because I am a Star Trek guy. And so again, board, I want to thank all of you. The work you do again. For the 3 trustees that showed up recently at our ISD Unidos, Mr. Valdez, Mr. Delgado, Ms. Castilla, for the work that you did last night, whether you were there collecting data for the health surveys that Ms. Castilla and her team were doing, or Mr. Delgado and Mr. Valdez, who stayed afterwards to help take everything down and put everything up. I want to thank you for that because when people act and serve with actions, we're gonna highlight that. I also want to thank the 2 young ladies there for the interview that I got to do that night. They were actually up here with the volleyball team. And so thank you to everyone for the work that you're doing. But I'm going to take a pause there because I think Mr. Hernandez wanted to ask a question. See if... No? Okay, we'll keep going. All right.
Wait.
Okay.
Then Mr. Hernandez. No,
Dr. Hernandez. My bad, sir. My bad.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay, so I wanted to just open it up for the new trustees especially, but also any trustee to just say a few words or a sentence or two about their why, because I know I got to say, my big speech about each of them, and I wanted to say a few things about them as well. But just for them to say, hey, this is a new year, January, even though it's the middle of the year for schools, but it's the new year, and just kind of an opportunity for them to share their why with the community, and then we can move on after that. So I'm not going to call anyone out, but if you would like to speak, maybe 30 seconds, a minute, not too long, please. Go ahead.
I would like to say that after decades of working in Edgewood, on the streets, visiting homes, helping families, making sure they had their basic needs met. I've been in public health for many years, but I got to the point where I felt that we shouldn't just maintain the status or continue providing so that they could be okay, but let's invest more on education because education is the only way out of poverty. And so I decided to come over here and run and see if people wanted me to serve them here because I was told that I needed a better platform to do the work that I did. And so I'm very glad now that a lot of students are graduating with an associate's. Because I remember one of our greatest challenges was the high rate of teen pregnancies. So we helped bring that down. But then the low rate of graduation, so we helped that go up. But then when the kids graduated, we had all these children graduating, getting to the university or to college, and then they would drop out because they were spending a lot of time on remedial. And I said, that is so unfair. Because by the time the students finish here, they put all their work here, and then the time that they finish all their 99 hours of support in Pell Grants or whatever they get, by the time they get to the actual career, the parents aren't going to be able to afford that. So that's why I came here and I said, let's give them a head start. And I'm so glad that I work with a team that does listen to that, because I spent a lot of time listening to the people. And if I can be able to help with all those things they ask for through here, that's why I'm here. And I remain here as long as they want me here, but I don't know how long. Thank you.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, yeah, we can clap. All right, would anyone else like to share?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Dundas. I've been a lifelong member of this community, the Edgewood community, and worked really hard with my community. For the past 10 years, my passion has been my community and serving my community. I have worked in many ways to ensure that the people in the Thompson community and beyond are, one, heard by the folks that we have entrusted with the best interests in our community, served by the safety and city officials that are supposed to be here to protect and serve the people of this great community. Empowered, remember those three things, because those are really important to me. Empowered to become great leaders in their own right. And I would like to do the same thing for the Edgewood community. Time and time again, I have been asked to represent the people of my community and have done so with all humility, knowing that to do so is truly an honor. During the time that I have served my community, I have worked on several projects, such as having the playground at Kennedy Park completely reconstructed and have shade covers placed over the playground, basketball court, and the basketball court. Worked on many zoning projects to benefit our community. Worked on bringing the Baptist Hospital into our community and many other projects. I will continue to seek any and all improvement and opportunities that our children in the Edgewood community deserve. Through all of this, I've learned that the most important and universal needs is the people just want to be heard and want to be a part of a solution. I want to ensure that we continue to listen, engage with our students, parents, and all community members. That, sir, is one of the reasons that I am a part of this great team, because I want to do what I've been doing for many years for my community and continue doing that for this great community, the Edgewood community.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi, thank you for providing this opportunity, and I really enjoy this. This is something different than we've done in the past. Good evening. When I first decided to serve 3 years ago, I did so as a recent graduate of this school district, wanting to provide input based off of my experiences. Growing up, I noticed the inequities in our educational system, inequities often tied to the part of town you live in. In our 16 square miles, our district has always had to fight for equity, from issues like school finance to ensuring our students have the access to the same opportunities as others. That fight is still ongoing, and I know I want to be part of it, addressing these challenges and helping our district move forward. I also recognize that being an effective trustee requires continuous learning, whether it's funding opportunities myself or seeking resources on my own to attend training conferences. I remain dedicated to improving my skills to better advocate for our students, teachers, and community. Even though we serve without compensation, I know the importance of investing in the development as a trustee to bring back ideas, resources, and strategies that will benefit the district. What truly brings me joy, though, are moments when I get to see the impact of our work. Watching our students graduate and join college, enlisting in the military, or succeeding in their careers reminds me of the importance of what we do. These moments are why I choose to serve, to help create opportunities that empower our students to reach their dreams and to be a small part of their success stories.
Awesome, thank you. Would anyone else want to? No pressure. Oh, but
I'll
I'm
give it
very
a shot.
patient. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry I didn't speak. But the reason I joined the board was to help as many kids as possible, give them a voice for themselves. That the reason hard for them to be heard nowadays. I want them to be able to have the confidence to be able to speak on what they need and what they want. This is their community. This is their livelihood. So that's why I joined the board.
All right. Is there anyone else?
Well, for me, it's about change. I really do believe in change and for the betterment of our kids, right? We grew up here, we went to school here, so I understand the need, I understand the sense of urgency, but it's very slow paced when it comes to education. But we're moving in the right direction, and it's because of you also, staff, right, community, the board, our superintendent. So please keep that in mind. I know you guys are working hard, and we want to work hard with you. So again, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Dr. H.
All right, guys. So as I come to a close, I'm going to call Mr. Chavez to go ahead and start moving up. Again, I do want to thank the board for, one, having the courage to share with us. I also want to acknowledge things where they belong. I want to thank Dr. Hernandez also for, in our meetings as superintendent and board president, part of what we talk about is how can we add or change the way that we're doing business while we're at a board meeting, taking into consideration recommendations that we received over the years from various trustees. And so I want to thank Dr. Hernandez for allowing this opportunity so that the board members can express their why for serving on the board. As I close out, community, I do want to also share with you, as I mentioned with the Young Men's Leadership Academy, the Boys Leadership Academy, we've also met with the Girls Leadership School. That's the group there. We're continuing to meet. We've already met with Brentwood. We'll continue to meet with the rest of our secondary schools. And again, because I want to make sure there's accurate information out in the community, this board does a lot of work every month to prepare when they come tonight for these regular board meetings to vote. The board participates in a workshop. They also get a board update on Fridays relating to the items that are being voted. There was a board workshop in December, which is the board workshop for this January meeting. I want that to be factual out there. And then these are the dates that the board has received their board update. They received one on the 10th, they received one on the 17th. Of course, on the 3rd, no one was working. And then, of course, they do not receive a board update the week of the regular board meeting. So they'll get another one on the 31st in preparation for February. So again, I want to speak with facts. And so I want to make sure that the community understands that out of respect to the 7 people who put in their time, that they are volunteering their time and they are getting informed on these things. And so our next board meeting next month is going to be the workshop on the 4th. And then there'll be a regular meeting on the 18th. That's the day after President's Day. Again, the board will put in numerous hours in preparation for that meeting. You see there for March. As I mentioned, these are the dates that they will get a board update in February, the 7th, the 14th, not the 21st, and again, the 28th. So there's copious amounts of information that the board gets. But just like anything else, the board also has a responsibility to read the items that are given to them. I want to be honest about that. And so thank you again, board members, and that concludes the superintendent's report, Dr. Hernandez. And at this point, I will turn it over to Mr. Chavez for his report, and then we'll close out at that point.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Dr. Hernandez, esteemed colleagues and community members. I do also want to extend my thanks for working with the board. And I know every month we come with you with that wonderful cadence that you have. See you 2, sometimes 3 or 4 times a month. And I thank you for the service that you provide and your support in the many and sundry items that we bring to the board. Tonight, after seeing everything that happened today, I'm reminded that I'm very proud to be a graduate of Edgewood and the community that is one big family. And I was able to kind of come back in full circle to serve this wonderful community. With that said, tonight's Lone Star Governance meeting for 2024, I will go through these pieces because I know we're short for time. I have spoken to you regarding the purpose of Lone Star Governance, so I'm going to skip this down next to the next area. If you recall, ladies and gentlemen, I came to the board in December at the December board workshop and presented some of these pieces. Also, the board quarterly tracker, quarter 32, I also covered. So tonight, we're going to be looking at these 4 measures, which makes up the Texas Success Initiative, Advanced Placement Dual Credit Courses, Industry-Based Certification. I will end tonight by looking at a 3-year trend for college, career, and military readiness for all 3 high schools. As we go on through this journey, I also provided this list of key terms and acronyms that I know it's a lot of education needs, but I provide this to the board to increase their knowledge of the pieces that we cover. And all of these components that I mentioned I've covered before. The last time I covered this particular CCMR was back in September 2024. With that said, last time I presented was on Goal Progress Measure 3.1 for the Texas Success Initiative. I believe that was addressed today with a community member, and it includes the criteria in both reading and mathematics on any of the TSA-IA, the Texas Success Initiative assessments, SAT, ACT, and college prep courses to increase from 15 to 25 percentage points by June 2027. Our baseline that we started off with was 15 percentage points. We went up to 25 in that, but I am proud to say that for the class of 2023, and I want to remind people that these particular indicators are lagging indicators. So the class of 2023 is reported out and has been reported out and will be presented to the board in February on our Texas Academic Performance Report for 2024. So the class of 2023 in this particular area received 39%. So we're well above those pieces as we move forward. This lists the SAT dates that have now been passed. We've had great attendance in these particular pieces. These is part of the components that make up TSI, as well as the college prep courses. And these are the number of students that we have in those particular courses to make up and to ensure that our TSI component is ready. Our next area is AP exams. We surpassed the 24 goal of 11% for the class of 23 with 13%. You can see here, going from 2022-23 to 23-24, we had increases in students passing these particular scores. We also have here for your purview the number of students in each, in each campus, high school campus, the number of students that we have enrolled in AP courses, 132 at Fine Arts, 404 at JFK, and 288 at Memorial. As we move forward, the next component is dual credit. Dual credit is an area that we're, for this year, focusing on to increase. We have the total number of students that are enrolled in these classes for fall and spring. Our numbers have not changed much except for some students who may have exited or some that have come in to the program. The next piece is our P-TECH and early college high school. You can see here the number of students in the pipeline. I believe Ms. Castilla, Board Vice President, spoke to the early college high schools. When I came, I noticed that we did not have those, and that was some of the first pieces that our team started to initiate to start up both a early college high school at JFK and at Memorial, and we've also extended that to our P-TECH. I want to say this is that our P-TECH only goes up to 11th grade, so next year we'll have graduates from that particular area. We also looked at our industry-based certifications. While we had a very low percentage, and that's what that was discussed, to go from 6%, which was our starting base, up to 25%. I'm proud to say that in the class of 23 for the 2024 taper, we had 43% of our students earn an industry-based certification. And these are the areas of our CTE programs that we have enrolled as of this year that are on the pipeline to earn those pieces. As I mentioned before, the next slide that I have here is a compendium of class of 21-22, class of 22-23, and the class of 23-24 in their respective school colors, green for Kennedy High School, blue for Memorial High School, and the Raider red for STEAM at the Fine Arts Academy. You can see from the class of 22, we started off at a low area and reached in 23, past the 88th percentile. And I want to remind the board is that the goal for that is to go from 43% to 85%. We passed that as of the class of 22-23, and our goal for 23-24, which is upwards of 94%. I do want to remind the board, again, the class of 21-22 came out in our 22-23 paper report. The class of 23 came out in our 23-24 paper report, and the class of 23-24 is based on Data Suites, a platform that we utilize to monitor all students as they progress and on all of these indicators for CCMR. So great progress there. The next piece that I want to tell you is that we also have this on reinforcements and things that we plan to reinforce and then refine for this year. But as based on that last slide that I shared with you on CCMR, the district is doing quite well. As I stated earlier, the other piece to cover is the quarterly progress report tracker, which I presented at the last board meeting. This piece here, if you recall this, our last quarter, we were sitting at 92, and the last quarter was in, I believe, in October, if I'm not correct. If I am correct in that saying that, and at that October board meeting, for the systems and processes, we moved from a 12 to a 15, making the total 92. Since then, we've had an incident, not an incident occurred, but change with the new board members, and for advocacy and engagement, which we were at full throttle at 10, we're now have moved back to a 9. I believe in this case, we can see that Dr. Hernandez, James Hernandez, would you care to comment on that for the quarter 32?
On the advocacy and engagement?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that, we got to work with our new board members to get them through the, to get them to finish their training. But as soon as that occurs, it'll go back to a 10, but that's just with the transition. We're going through Lone Star governance, things like that. So it's pretty much, y'all need to finish your orientation and your trainings, and then that will be back to 10. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time in this particular district.
Thank you very much.
Yes, can I, Miss Amelia, the vicar? Thank you. Guys, I left off 3 items that are really important to our community, and I really want to catch them on video so that if we get questions, our community can, we're going to reference them to these 3 slides. So please indulge me on this, because these are direct conversations I've had with constituents, and I want to make sure that just because people don't show up, that we still need to honor what they're saying. So recently, and this happens every year in January, February, sometimes in March, we do have inclement weather days. And so obviously Tuesday we had one. And so there was questions brought up forth to me about how the decision with inclement weather is made with regards to superintendent and how that decision is made. So I want to share just really quickly and briefly, and this will be added for our board members in their update, and I do share this with the board members every year using different modalities. It doesn't always look the same way, but I do share this sometimes verbally or just different ways. As superintendent, what I do is I meet with the 17 different school district superintendents that make up Bexar County. There's only one of us that doesn't actually, that the district isn't in Bexar County, that is Seguin ISD. They're not listed here, but they're also part of the conversations that happen at Region 20. Now, the superintendent and I meet together in conjunction with folks at the National Weather Service, with the Bexar County Emergency Management System, with the Texas Department of Public Safety, TxDOT to be specific, and we talk about everything from road conditions to what the weather is starting to look like. We usually meet 3 days, 4 days. As early as we know there's a possibility, we start meeting. And typically we'll meet at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. on most afternoons. And so at those meetings, we talk about what's the best course of action to take with regards to inclement weather. Now, for me as superintendent, we're not one of the bigger school districts in the area. So I want you to understand that if bigger school districts like Northside, specifically for us, Northside and SAISD, if they decide to close school, and more so on the Northside ISD side, that has a direct effect on us because a lot of our teachers actually reside in Northside. And so if they're going to be out anyways because their kids are home, that is a factor that I have to take into consideration. And so those are the factors that we bring forth. Of course, I confer with the board president on what that's looking like in terms of, are we going to cancel? And then, of course, sometimes I cannot make a decision until 4 in the morning of. And so that requires folks like Mr. Williams, Chief Quiroga's folks, to go out and drive the roads here in Edgewood so we make the best decision possible. And so again, that is part of the rationale that we use to make decisions, but I wanted to share that so the community hears it on tape, on video, and they can ask any questions. And there's the superintendent email address if they have other questions. And so the other thing I want to also ask our community is please don't forget to sign up on Frontline for the parent portal. I did hear from some folks that said, well, I didn't get the call, I didn't get the text. The first thing I ask is, have you signed up for a parent portal account? And I always get a no. And did you know about it? Well, yeah, but I just hadn't got around to it. Well, at some point, the responsibility is not just on those of us in the school district. And I say that with the utmost respect and the utmost humility. This is a two-way relationship. Folks have to sign up for things. We cannot hunt you down. And so, community, please sign up on the Frontline portal and get the information so we can email you. We will, I promise you, we will email you, call you, text you. We'll probably hound you. And you're probably going to complain that we've sent too much information at this point. I know some of my folks are smiling because we get that too. And so, community, please, and check social media, right? Here's the next thing I want to talk about. Here recently, we had 2 campuses that were victims of a hoax call. This is happening a lot across the region and all over the state. Now, this one's a little more difficult to explain, but here's what I normally hear from folks. Why aren't we receiving information when things are happening? Well, I can't make a promise to folks that I am going to be able to call you the moment that things are happening. Because one, I am not I do not have the title of chief of police. I am not a police officer. I'm not running in a school when something happens, they do. And so I always rely on my subject matter specialists. And who are they? The chief of police. We have interlocal agreements with different agencies. I went ahead and listed SAPD because they're usually who we work with. And of course, back to that parent portal thing. We are using that to provide letters once we know what happened. We provide information, but again, parents, please sign up for Parent Portal because that is the best way that we can provide information. Because I know sometimes students start texting, and I saw this and I saw that. Unfortunately, we can't get to you because initially we are talking to our police department, and I am taking the lead of the chief of police. I have worked with our chief of police for many years, and until this day, he has led us faithfully, and he has led us through a lot of these things, as well as our men and women in the uniform. And so all I'm asking is, patience, do your part, sign up for the information. Please update your information, because then your number gets changed, or you change the number, change your address. We don't know until something's wrong. So at some point, I'm going to ask you to have some personal accountability and update that information, because when things happen, I can't go hunt down information, right? And so again, I plead to you, sir or madam out there, please make sure you have that information. We are training our staff on how to deal with these things. But the only thing I can share with you is these calls are not coming from within the Bexar County area. They're coming from lots of places that are far, far away from here. But we act in the manner that protects our students, our kids at school, and our staff. And so know that we are doing that. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is here a recent thing that has been happening at the federal level. I have been entertaining a lot of questions from community members that are very afraid about the recent actions that are happening at the federal level around an executive order that has been released regarding the Department of Homeland Security, specifically the ICE agency. That's the immigration agency for short, right? What I'm asking our community to do at this point is to, one, if you have questions, email the superintendent account. But I will say to you today, that information is still fluid and it is evolving. It is still coming out, and we are working with our local district council, that's Juan Cruz and Associates, who are advising us of what we can and can't do legally. We will be providing training for our campus leaders, district leaders, folks who run transportation, our different departments, so that we have accurate information. But what I will tell our community, and you saw the interview that they alluded to earlier that I did, my commitment to my kids, with the backing of our board, is that our teachers are here to teach, they're here to take care of our kids, our principals are here to do the same. We are not in the business of navigating the conversation about who is or is not supposed to be here. We took an oath many years ago as educators to educate and protect our kids in spite of what gets thrown at us. So I said it before on the news, and I'm going to say it again. I am not asking any teachers to do anything other than teach our kids and care for our kids and take care of our kids, and that goes for our principals, because I see some here in the audience. And so I hope that we will share actual information once we have it. That to the community members out there, I hear you. I know you're afraid. Some of you have already been calling me, and we will get information for you as accurately as we can, and we will provide that for you as soon as we can. So I want to close out with that, Board President, and turn it over to you. That concludes all our reports.
Thank you, sir. Oh. Our next item, closed session.
Consent.
Oh, I'm sorry, consent. See? I need my script. Give me 1 second. All right. See, when this happens as a teacher, we still got to keep going, so.
All right.
And it does happen. All right, consent agenda item. As per board policy BE local, unless a board member makes a motion to withdraw an item for individual consideration, and such motion receives a second and is passed by a majority of those present, all consent agenda items shall be acted upon by one vote without separate discussion. At this time, we move to our consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda item A through H as listed?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move to approve items A through H on today's consent agenda as listed.
Okay, Mr. Valdez, motions. Is there a second? Is there a second? Mr. Gomez seconds. Is there any discussion? Okay. If we have no discussion, all those in favor raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Motion passes. If there are no other questions or comments, we move on to our next agenda item. The time is now 7:52 p.m. and the Edgewood Independent School District School Board will go into closed session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Codes 551.071 and 551.074. The Edgewood ISD Board is now in closed session. The time is now 9:13 PM, and the Edgewood Independent School District School Board will go in, oh, actually, hang on. That's, no, I was reading the wrong one. Sorry, it's getting late. All right, so the time is now 9:16, and the Edgewood Independent School District School Board reconvenes from closed session. Oh, okay. Is there a motion? So
I move that the Board of Trustees render a finding that good cause did not exist for term contract employee Denise Ibarra to abandon her employment contract with Edgewood ISD pursuant to Texas Education Code Section 21.215, and to authorize the superintendent to file a written complaint with the State Board for Educator Certification for contract abandonment by Denise Ibarra, to issue written notice to Denise Ibarra.
Okay, Mr. Espinosa motions. Is there a second? Second. Okay, Mr. Gomez seconds. Is there any discussion? Okay, if we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Okay, motion passes. On item 8B, is there a motion?
I move to adopt Board Policy BBE Local, first and final reading as presented.
Okay, Mr. Espinosa motions. Is there a second? Okay. Mr. Delgado seconds. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I wish to abstain from voting on this item.
Okay, Mr. Valdez abstains. Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, if we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Okay, motion passes. Regarding 8C,
Mr. President, I move to adopt Board Policy BBG Local on first and final reading as presented.
okay, Mr. Espinosa motions. Is there a second?
I can second.
Okay, Ms. Castilla seconds. Is there any discussion? All right, if we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Okay, motion passes.
Oh, Mr. President, I wanted to abstain on that item as well.
One, can we go back, or how does that work? Okay, thank you. Item 8D,
Mr. President, I move to adopt revisions to the board operating procedures as presented.
Mr. Espinosa motions. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Gomez seconds. Is there any discussion?
I wish to abstain on this item as well.
Okay, Mr. Valdez abstains on 8D. Any other discussion? Okay, if we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Motion passes. Okay, regarding 8E,
Mr. President, I move to defer Trustee Michael Valdez's travel to attend the TASB Leadership Conference to the February regular board meeting.
okay, Mr. Espinosa motions. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cruz, does the board need to vote on that item or just announce it? Oh, okay, thank you.
So Mr. Espinosa motions to defer. Is there a second? Mr. Gomez seconds. Is there any discussion?
I just have a question for Mr. Cruz. Would it be like a conflict of interest for me to vote yes or no on this item since it's pertaining to myself? Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, if we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Okay, motion passes. And regarding 8F,
Mr. President, I move to adopt the EISD resolution regarding emergency closure due to dangerous weather.
okay, thank you, Mr. Espinosa. Motions, is there a second? Mr. Lopez seconds. Is there any discussion? Okay, if we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Okay, motion passes. Okay.
Board, I would like to take a quick moment to thank you on item 8F. As I explained to you back in the executive session, this item does affect our hourly employees. And so I want to thank you for, as always, putting the needs of our employees first. And so on their behalf, I did want to say thank you to all 7 of you.
All right, thank you, sir. The time is now 9:22 p.m. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second. Or motion.
Motion to, okay, Mr. Delgado, thank you, you're up here. Mr. Delgado, motions to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Valdez seconds, is there any discussion? If we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Okay, motion passes, this meeting is adjourned, thank you.